Ben Travers, James Frayne, back for another year. Frayne trained, welcome. Good Christmas, New Year. We just spoke about this before we hit record, but good Christmas break, mate.
Yeah, mate. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to the listeners. Great break. Great, yeah, mate. Great break. Always good to be kicking the feet up, watching the cricket, and having a few beers and prawns, as opposed to sort of slaving away 9 to 5 behind a desk. So always good. Always good.
New Year's resolutions. Do you subscribe to these sorts of things, or?
I think every year I always do that. I should lose 5-10 kilos. I'm one of those guys. I feel like that my abdomen is made up of those things you put in bathrooms that absorbs everything. And like I have a few beers and I just get a massive spare tire. So I don't know. I'd like to kick that again.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Yeah, likewise. Lose weight and just got some ambitious goals for this great inside feed brand, mate. But no, lose weight every year. It's just falling off me at the moment. I'm so hungry right now. We're filming this at 8 o'clock on Tuesday night, and there's possums going across the electricity wires, and I'm thinking about putting my hand out. I'm so fucking hungry. But anyways, Frayne train. We're going to rip in, talk a bit of cricket, talk some future predictions for the year ahead across a couple of different sports. And an NRL tipping comp to start with the BBL. I don't know if anyone's actually watching it. I tried to look at the ratings today to see if people are actually watching it. I couldn't find anything, but are you watching it? I think you're pretty subscribed.
I like watching the Heat. Obviously, invested in the Heat. Big fan. And I watch the occasional game here or there. I think everyone in Australia is a big exponent of their mates or flick them a text being like, "Oh, a good finish," and what one person in the WhatsApp chat is watching the game and everyone flicks on to watch those last 5 overs. But yeah, apart from the Heat, I can't say I watched too many of it. I did have a look to see surely the finals are around the corner, start of that what was it, Australia Day long weekend a few years. Had a look at the draw. There's still a whole month to go.
It's ridiculous. Each team plays 4 games or some shit. It's way too much.
They need to sort that out. They need to sort that out quickly because, mate, that's ridiculous. Everyone sort of, once everyone starts going back to work, everyone starts to lose a bit more interest in it, and they need to wrap it up, get the finals happening.
I agree. That said, we had a Scorchers prediction for the start of the comp. Have you changed that? I'm sticking fat. They were terrible for the first couple of games, but now they're coming good, I reckon. I actually reckon the Scorchers, the Renegades are the pieces of shit. They're playing right now. They probably proved me wrong, but I think the Scorchers are still going to be okay.
I can't believe I'm going to say this because I'm their biggest fan, but I'm also the biggest critic. I reckon the Heat are the kind of side you don't want to be the side who's coming into the finals and you're 13-1 or 12-2 because it's that kind of competition where you got a peak coming into the finals and you don't want to run your race. And I reckon they're the kind of side, all they got to do, string 2-3 games together. They've worked out who their shit bowlers are in the squad and they're never getting a run again. Ben McLaughlin and whoever. Ben Lachlan, yes, whoever was serving up those pies the other night when they never should have lost to the Thunder. And they look like their batting's gotten a bit more rock solid with the internationals, the much needed imports that they've had this season. So $13, I think.
Are they? Fuck. It was good to see Burns get some fucking runs too. Holy shit. But yeah, right. If he's going okay and Lynn's firing, Denley, Bryant always gets a start there. Yeah, maybe that's a good bet. I'll stick with the Scorchers because the Heat will probably choke. But it was great to see Burns get runs. Verdict there is not many people are watching. Potentially, the ratings will come out soon. You did want to talk about very quickly, staying on cricket, the ICC Test Team of the Decade. Did you have a rant to go on about that? I think I know where you're going to come from.
There's two, around this time, all the journos and being the end of the year, teams of the year, and there's teams of the decades, all that sort of stuff. There were two. There was the ICC teams of the decade for T20, one day, test, all that sort of jazz. And I know that they're probably trying to create controversy and all that sort of stuff, but What I can't work out, a few things that just stand out like dog's balls. Test team of the decade. Kumar Sangakkara is a wicketkeeper. Kumar Sangakkara, great batsman, unreal. He didn't keep in the decade. He never wore the gloves in one test match. How is he able to be a keeper? The other thing that I saw were there are a few flat track bullies in there, like David Warner's in there, Ashwin's in there, like absolute lions at home, but lambs away. And you just think to yourself, someone like Nathan Lyon, like bit stiff. He's good in all conditions, all that sort of stuff. And then the other one in the ODI team, and I'm picking on David Warner here, but that's because he's a bit of a prick.
Okay.
But
yeah.
So David Warner, 130 games. He's played 131 day games, averages 45 at 95 strike rate with 18 centuries. Hashim Amla played 180 games, averages 50 at 88 with 27 centuries. So who would you rather have? The bloke who averages 10% more, bit less, done it longer. So I just don't get all those things. And it's the same sort of stuff. News Corp, like Crash Craddock, love him, great journo, all that sort of stuff. Him and a couple of his other people put together their sort of best 50 cricketers of the last 20 years. And it's way too Australian centric. Like
I love how worked up you're getting on this.
Oh, it's just fire. I know they do it to create controversy, get people talking and stuff like that. But what stands out to me like dog's balls is like they're going on about how good, Gilly was number one. Like, agree he's definitely in the top 5. Personally, not number 1. I think you can't have anyone but Jarks Callis as number 1.
Is this to watch, or is this like
this was the best? This is the best
okay.
50 cricketers of the last 20 years. So they only counted one day and test. And I thought, Warney was about number 7 or 8, but they said that he did his best work in the 90s, which you can sort of
that tour of England, the Ashes tour of England, where he got like 85 wickets. That was 2000 and something. 2000.
Yeah, like these are all the things, but like just some other things that stand out is Kumar Sangakkara averaging 58, I think, and he's at number 10. You got Kane Williamson, who's averaging, I think, 57, 58 or something like that. He's at number 20. Steve Smith, obviously really good, but he's averaging 6. Just some things that really real head scratches.
Coming across like you're a big fucking Kumar Sangakkara fan.
No, I am. But no, well, I potted him and said he shouldn't be in the team of the decade.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but I'm saying he should. No, he should be higher than number 10 is what I'm saying.
Oh, right, gotcha.
You can't have the of people who've sort of run their race, had their full 100 test career, and he's got the second best average behind Bradman. You can't have him as number 10.
No, I get that. Anyway. I thought you were potting him. Kane Williamson got another like 240 today.
Yeah,
Pakistan.
I know that's not
in that game.
Yeah, but like, how can he be number 20 and Steve Smith's number 6? Like, anyway, I feel like if you weren't born or play for Australia, you immediately got to, your record's got to be about 10 times better than anyone
Adam
else.
Gilchrist's 100, I know it's one innings. His 100 in Perth against the Poms was fucking incredible.
Yeah,
that's the best YouTube ever. That maybe Peter Siddle's hat trick are 2 of the best YouTubes you can do on a binge YouTube.
I did watch a fair bit of YouTube of those Rob Linda 2 or whatever clips over the break. Really get into a vortex. Yeah,
you just
one after the other.
3 hours later.
Best runouts.
Mate, we could talk about that all day. We might do that off air because, or when we're not recording, because everyone else is probably asleep. But NBA, Frayne, I know not your forte, but we have an NBA sort of platform. It's got its own sort of Instagram, Facebook, which is growing rapidly, Twitter, our own podcast, which Pete O'Keefe handles. And he is absolutely murdering it on the punt on the NBA. But I am loving the NBA, sort of 2 screens working, NBA one, work the other. Celtics had a good win today, which we backed, and Pete had a multi, which came off as well. So you're not into the NBA, I know that, but I am absolutely loving the NBA. Steph Curry scored 62 yesterday. Brooklyn's on fire. I actually reckon once fans get back into the stadium, into the arenas, if that happens this year, then it's going to be one of the best NBA seasons. But America's pretty fucked with the pandemic, so who knows when that's going to happen. NRL tipping comp, Frayne. We are, and now I'm keeping it under wraps a little bit, but we are launching a tipping comp where we're going to limit it to 1,000 people. I know it's a big limit. Buy-in will be $20 to register, and that will equate to $20,000 worth of prize money to give away, which I'm so fucking excited about because heaps of people I know are like, oh, I know my NRL, so we'll get to sort of put our money where our mouth is. Prizes for first, second, third, and last. Weekly prizes as well. It's going to be so sick. And we're going to kick that off. Obviously, March 11, I think, is round one. Storm play the Rabbitohs on Thursday night, which will be a belter. But that's something to be excited about, which we will push through the Inside Feed Punters Club as well. So if you're not a part of that, find us on Facebook. But that's something that I'm really looking forward to. Not going to do the AFL this year. Going to keep the focus nice and narrow, and we'll see how we go, mainly because there's a lot of admin involved and I don't want to do too much. But good segue. NRL this season or this year, Frayno. We're going to do a couple of predictions. We're going to give our predictions for the NRL Premiers in 2021, the AFL Premiers, the Super Rugby Domestic Australia, so just Australia, and we've already spoken about the BBL, but we'll also throw in our BBL selections, and you and I can have a bit of a tip-off and maybe even put a multi on it for shits and giggles. So let's start. We've already spoken about the BBL. Are you going to stick fat with the Heat?
Yeah, I've changed my preseason tip, and I'm going to get on the Heat at $13. Part because it's value, part because it's home team, and it's always good getting behind your home team, and part because I actually do think they're going to bring momentum into the right time of the tournament. I think Morkel's still to come.
He's due. Yeah, he's due. And I think he might be due next game or the one after. They are $13 with your favourite bookmaker player. And all right, well, I'll go with the Scorchers for no other reason than I tipped them at the start of the year. And if I dropped off them, I'd be filthy because I actually think they're going to come good. They were horrible to start the season. I agree. The Heat's great value at 31. The Renegades are $41. They should be 1,000. They're shocking.
What price a Heat Scorchers grand final?
Can you do that? Grand final?
I don't know.
Not sure. We better have a viewing party if that happens because it'll be head to head. Super Rugby Domestic Australia, the 5 teams down the Eastern Seaboard, of course, 4 of them, and then the Force over in Perth. I reckon this is going to be a really hot competition this year. I don't know if there's a market available. I'm just because we don't really prepare for this podcast. I'm trying to find it now. Actually, I think I've got it. Who are you tipping in the Super Rugby Domestic Australian competition?
We're going to go the Brumbies again. I really wanted to go the Reds, like I really did, but I think that losing James O'Connor is going to be a bigger loss than anyone's sort of.
James O'Connor's not gone, is he?
Yeah, he's gone. I'm 99% sure he's not coming back next year. I could be wrong. Maybe we need to get on the Google real quick.
Lack of research, we probably should. I don't.
Jeez, I'm going to look like a ghost.
Hey?
I thought he was out. I thought he'd gone.
Can you stall while I do?
I thought he had signed a deal to go overseas, but it might have changed.
No, I think it got blocked. It got blocked or something.
Okay.
I think he's there.
All right. Well, okay.
Well, I'm going the Reds. I'm already going the Reds. So you got to go the Brumbies.
Right.
You said it's straight away.
Okay, I'll go the Brumbies. It'll be those two in the grand final anyway.
Brumbies 230, Reds 330. Frayno, favourite backer, backing the Brumbies 230. I'm going 330 Reds. I'm pretty sure O'Connor's there. And they'll have. I wonder what they'll do with. They've got the Wallabies centre pairing of Paisami and Pattaya, but Hamish Stewart's the incumbent 12, and he had a fucking sensational season. So I'm not sure what they'll do there. They've got many great young backline options. I'm a bit biased on some of them, but The Reds are, and their back row is fucking sensational. Liam Wright, Fraser McWright, Harry Wilson. I reckon they'll absolutely dominate the competition this year. That back row's had a Wallabies campaign. The centres, whatever they do there, there's strength everywhere. So if they stay fit, I think they just win. $3.30 is a great price. So Scorchers, Reds, Heat, Brumbies. So we've split that one in terms of patriotism to Brisbane and Queensland. AFL. Now, you and I probably know accumulatively fuck all about AFL. So this is a big stab in the dark. Who are you backing in the AFL?
Well, I'm really putting my head on the chopping block. I'm going to go with Richmond. I just think like it's going to be another COVID disrupted season. There's going to be shit going on left, right and centre. They're the most professional. They've got the best team. They've got a good coaching setup.
Well, the coach is fucking the staff, so...
Yeah, coach is up to no good, but I'm sure they're all professional. Well, what was it last season? They had the issues with Rance, one of their defenders, playing up or getting a few people on side. They put that to one side.
One bed.
The tongue.
Yeah.
They put that to one side and got on with the job. I think, especially with the AFL, NRL, it's going to be the really professional setups that continue to roll on.
All right, I'm going to go, again, patriotism to Queensland. I'm going to go the line because they've been building. I think they've finished top 2 the last 2 years. That could be incorrect, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. And if COVID is still a thing and we're pretty good in Queensland, we should have a lot of home games at the Gabba, the fortress, the Gabba. So I'm going to go the Lions. Yeah, they did shit the bed in the finals again, but I'm going to back the Lions. If I was clever, I would have got the markets up, which I'll do right now. I reckon Richmond will be favourite and the Lions might not be too far away. As I quickly look, you wouldn't believe it. There's no fucking market. Oh, here we go. Richmond $4, Geelong second favourite at $6, and the Brisbane Lions are at $8.50. So I'm not sure what that makes our respective multis, but we might flash them up on the screen. All right, the big one, the NRL. Who are you tipping to win the NRL in 2021?
Had a good look at this one. And I think the team that's going to improve the most or has the upside between 2020 and 2021 is the Canberra Raiders. I think the Canberra Raiders are going to be the team to beat. Who have you gone? Don't tell me you're going the same.
No, fuck no. I don't have the Raiders in my top 4.
Oh, right. Fuck.
What do you think the Raiders?
Well, they've been there or thereabouts for the last 4 or so years. They nearly made the grand final about 3 or 4 years ago when Edric Lee dropped that pass with the line wide open in the semi.
Sounds like you're back.
Yeah. Actually, I think I was on the Storm. But anyway, they should have won the grand final 2 years ago. They didn't have I think they finished 5th.
They did because they're back in the top 4. Yep.
Yeah, right. Didn't have the best year. They lost Josh Hodgson, knee injury halfway through the season. They're going to have they're just going to have a real similar group carrying them through. And I just think they've got a good coach. They know what they're about down there.
They do lose old Nick Kotrick. But yeah.
Yeah, I think you like of all the sort of areas you want to lose people, it's those outside backs that are sort of able to slot into the system and whatnot. But they got the same spine. Jack Whiten is getting better and better. Arguably best player in the comp. And away they go.
They're paying $10. I actually thought they'd be more, but they're paying $10. I'm going back-to-back Storm. I think they're Pappenhausen, Munster, Grant, 169 is just fucking... I reckon they're like the 3 best players in the comp almost in the same team. So none of them will probably get Dally M because they'll all be stealing votes off each other. But I honestly think Munster's the best player in the game. Pappenhausen, obviously Clive Churchill, medalist, superstar, and Harry Grant's Origin, like his first year with the Tigers and his Origin were just sensational. So not sure what happens with Cam Smith. I read today that the Titans still have 1 spot left on their list. So I presume that's just Cam Smith's spot to take if he wants it.
But even if he doesn't go, even if he goes, I mean, they got Harry Grant.
Still back in the Storm. I'm back in the Storm with Smith out. I just think they're going to be that strong. I think they're fantastic. They're $7 to win. Bellamy, I'm not sure if he's there beyond this year, but I just think they're a great bet at $7. They're like $1.80 to make the top 4. I don't think that I think
Oh.
I've looked at it, it's like they've made the top 4 last 8 or 9 out of 10 years. That could be again incorrect, but it's something like that.
I reckon them at $7 is better value than Canberra at 10.
Thank you, I appreciate
Because
it.
you know what I mean. They're gonna be there. They're gonna be there, like in the final 4. They just won't not be.
So quick math, yours was 10 by 230 Raiders into Brumbies. That's 23 into $13 the Heat. That's like fucking $300. And then what was the other one? AFL $4 Richmond. Your multi's paying 1,200 give or take. Mine is paying 7 into 330 the Reds. That's about 22. Then what did I go? I went to Scorchers at 650. So it's 22 650s, like what, 130. And then what's the other one I'm missing? The Lions at 850. Oh, we're about the same. We're about the same. 130 by 850 is about 1,100 or so. Yours might be fractionally more. We'll flash them up so save us doing that math ever again. Righto, well, they're set in stone. Let's pray that we fucking pull something off. That would be one of the all-time great multis. I'm definitely going to have $10 in that multi because if it salutes and I didn't back it, I'd be filthy. That's going to be a 10 grand collect. That's fantastic for me. Frayne Train Inside Feed Punters Club podcast later in the week, a week out from Magic Millions. And you and I have been like, as soon as we stopped podcasting before Christmas, I could not tip my couldn't tip my hat rather, pick my nose, tip my hat before, and then we stopped podcasting, and I've just been on an absolute streak of tipping winners left, right, and centre. So let's hope that form continues. Normally doesn't, but we'll see how we go. So Inside Feed Punters Club podcast Thursday, published Friday. Anything else, Frayne, that we're missing? Don't think so. No, big year on this podcast. Many special guests in the gun. We're not going to do boring old fucking interviews of, hey, Dickface, how's training going? That's not going to be us. We're going to be doing a bit more exciting stuff. So that's all ready and loaded in the gun for the most part, and looking forward to it, Frayne. So we'll sign off tonight. See you Thursday for the Punters Club podcast.
See you, Trav.
Thanks, mate.